D-Town.
Of Detroit.
Chicago, Detroit, Boston. I don't care.
Yo, Detroit Become Human is one of the most powerful games I played in the last 5 years.
Don't forget to tell them about all of the crying and the tears.
It was painful. I set out to platinum this game in 25 hours, but it took me 100.
Come on now, dawg.
Now check this out. There are 47 missable trophies and there are 49 trophies in this game.
Come on, man.
Now sit back and relax and watch me get this platinum through pain. Chapter 1, we're introduced to Connor. He's an RK-800 android sent by CyberLife to help the Detroit police force in stopping and detaining deviants.
Yo, Shots, he looks dangerously smooth.
Indeed. Our goal here is to save the little girl by any means necessary, and after a little bit of negotiating, this is what happened. So from this selfless act from Connor, we get a trophy for accomplishing the mission and clearing Chapter 1.
Good job.
Now we're introduced to Marcus. He's an RK-200 model, and as soon as we started his story, we're found a magazine. Now keep in mind, we're gonna need to find 46 magazines in order to get the Bookworm trophy. So Marcus is tasked with finding some supplies for his master. So we go through the city center and we find the guitarist. We heard the preacher, and Mr. Hot Dog Man confronted us, and then we got the supplies from the paint store. And on the way out, we ran into some bad guys from school, and this happened.
Look at this little motherfucker. You steal our jobs, but you can't even stand up.
You ain't going anywhere. We're gonna your
Alright. It's enough.
Luckily, we made it out alive and we headed home. Lastly, we meet this degenerate and his name is Todd.
Zoe, let's go.
Apparently, he's at CyberLife picking up a new android. Her name is Kara. She's an AX400 model. After he takes us home, we end up cleaning up the dishes, taking out the trash, finding red ice in the washing detergent, and then this happens.
You shouldn't mess around with my stuff. It makes me nervous.
I'm sorry, Todd.
You just stay the fuck out of my business.
Man, this guy is something else, man.
I don't like him either, Shots. I'm getting mad too.
We gon' get him. Anyhow, we headed upstairs and talked to Alice, and she ended up giving us the key to her music box, and we got a trophy for looking inside. Now we're back as Connor. We're tasked with finding our new partner Hank and persuading him to help us with an investigation. Once we got to the crime scene, we analyzed all of the clues and it led us to the attic. And on behold, we found a deviant.
You actually found me.
Now on the exact same night, Marcus and his caretaker get home from a party and they find someone in the studio. So we go to investigate and we find out that it's his son. His son came over to ask his father for money, but he gets out of hand. Now it was at this moment that he became a deviant, breaking free so he can act upon his own will. Now that Marcus can make his own decisions, we're gonna defend ourselves.
Hey, Shots, I'm not mad at this outcome.
Neither am I. However, the police showed up and blam blam.
Shoot me?
Now later on that night, Kara makes dinner for Todd and Alice. And Todd's on the red ice again, so things aren't looking good. Now Todd gets violent with Alice once again and she leaves. He tells Kara to stay put, but we break free. Now we sneak up the stairs to make sure that Alice is okay.
And Karen just goes beast mode.
Her name is Kara, Shotty.
Yeah, Karen.
I'm back here!
Run, Karen, run!
Kara and Alice finally escape that nightmare and get to safety. For now, at least. And we got a trophy for becoming free. Switching gears back to Connor, we're now tasked with interrogating the deviant that we found at the last investigation. But the humans were getting nowhere, so Connor decided to step in and give it a try. So we approached him with sympathy and tried to empathize with him, but it was getting us nowhere. So we just probed him. No need for a confession, Connor has everything he needs. So as he was leaving, this happened. Mission accomplished.
Sheesh.
Alright, so Kara and Alice finally come to the end of the line and they're forced to find clothing and shelter. So we go to the nearest washateria and steal every single piece of clothing from this poor guy and we got out of there. Fortunately, we were able to find an abandoned car and stayed there for the night. So the following morning, the Detroit police force had the streets on lockdown. And Kara and Alice need to get to the other side of the street so they can find the train station so they can get their next lead. So we maneuvered our way through the cops and we got onto the train and we got another trophy.
Wow, that's a tremendous looking trophy.
So they did my favorite android dirty. Marcus, who was last seen being shot by the cops, has been thrown in the junkyard to fend for himself. Luckily, he was able to reboot, and now we're on the hunt for all of the parts needed to stabilize. While we were looking for parts, another android gave us the location of Jericho, a place where all androids can be free. Finally, after finding all of the parts, Marcus was able to have a true rebirth.
Yeah, he rose like a phoenix from the ashes.
Now, once Marcus gets his wits about him back, we follow a series of clues that leads us to Jericho.
Yo, Shots, this is Jericho?
Apparently, Marcus ended up climbing to the top and taking a leap of faith. Now, once we got inside, we found a flashlight and started exploring, and then this happened.
Ouch!
Welcome to Jericho. Hey, Connor.
Cold-blooded Connor back in effect. There are reports of a deviant in the area, so we're here to investigate.
Somebody hears a strange noise.
Open up, Detroit police!
Once we heard a disturbance, we burst through the door and...
What the f is this?
That's a lot of birds.
we found enough clues that were able to help us reconstruct exactly what happened here, helping us find the deviant.
Thought I was the last guy to try that yourself.
God! Pigeons! What are you waiting for? Chase it!
And the chase ensues.
After a lengthy chase across the city, we finally have an opportunity to capture the deviant, but they pushed over Hank, so we saved him. And for Connor's big blue heart, we got another... Now that Marcus has had an opportunity to meet his fellow androids, he devises a plan to get them spare parts. So we infiltrated the CyberLife warehouse and we ran into an android who wanted to help us.
Take me with you.
He let us know that the trucks have loads of parts and we only needed a key. So Marcus grabbed the key, we got into the truck and drove it back to Jericho.
We stole a whole truckload.
We got bio components for everybody.
So Kara and Alice finally get to the only lead that can help them, and they're on the opposite side of the city. Now we're introduced to Zlatko and his android Luther. He claims he can help us get across the Canadian border, but we'd have to get rid of our tracking devices first. So we follow him into the basement, and of course it's a trap. Instead of removing our tracking devices, he's resetting our memory. Fortunately, we were able to regain our memory, and not only that, we unlocked allies by unlocking the gate in the basement. Finally, after finding Alice, Zlatko hunted us down. Once we got outside, a turn of events occurred. Not only Luther, but his android recreations were all against him.
Get away from me! Get away from me! Obey me! I'm your master! I'm your master!
Now we're tasked with finding Hank for a new investigation. However, no one came to the door after ringing the doorbell. So we snooped around the house and found Hank laying on the kitchen floor. So we smashed the window and we got attacked by Cujo. Just kidding, this is Sumo. Anywho, once Hank was conscious, this happened.
Leave me alone. Maybe I'm an android.
Thank you in advance for your cooperation.
We get the f*** out of here! Sumo! Attack!
Good done.
Attack!
Yo, Shots, what's wrong with Hank?
I think he's hungover, Shotty.
Oh yeah, right, thanks.
So we got him sobered up and we headed over to the Eden Club. Once we got to the Eden Club, this is what Hank had to say.
Sexiest androids in town. I know why you insisted on coming here.
There's a lot of interesting things going on in here.
Connor, what are you doing?
Coming, Lieutenant.
Now, using our reconstruct, we were able to find out that there were 2 androids requested by the victim. Connor had the great idea to probe the memory of each android that may have seen the suspect, but we're gonna need Hank's credit card first.
This is not gonna look good on my expense account.
Now we probe away. Once we zeroed in on the android's location, we were able to find her in the back room, but her girlfriend attacked. Not gonna lie, after doing this I felt terrible, but I killed her.
Do it for the trophy!
Now the next evening, Luther was taking Alice and Kara to safety, but unfortunately the car broke down. So they searched for shelter and found a building of an abandoned amusement park.
Here we go.
As they were settling down, androids started attacking the building. Come to find out that these androids are called Jerry.
They seem to share the same consciousness.
I think so, Shotty. However, it seemed as though they were friendly, so we allowed them to give Alice a ride on the merry-go-round.
It's the first time I've seen her smile.
So Marcus wants to send a message to Detroit, peacefully. So we head to Capitol Park and we free every single android that we find.
You're free now.
We even broke into the CyberLife store and freed those androids as well.
You don't have to obey them. You're free.
So we rallied all the androids and we created a peaceful takeover. Until the police showed up. Hank and cold-blooded Connor back in action, so they turned to the creator of the android, Kamsky, but Connor would have to shoot another android, his own kind.
How's it feel? Killing your own kind.
Yo, Shots, I don't think Connor's playing around.
Yeah, he's standing on business, the business of trophies. Marcus is finally ready to stand his ground. We start off in the middle of downtown Detroit and we convert hundreds, almost thousands of androids. We marched through the streets and the police couldn't even stop us. They ended up calling for backup. Once backup arrived, Marcus and his people came across peacefully, but the police only wanted to shoot him down. We marched closer and the police shot us. And unfortunately, the police shot Marcus. Now, fortunately, the same android that we saved at the CyberLife warehouse ended up sacrificing himself so Marcus can escape. He a real one, man.
Not a real one.
You know what I mean. And thanks to him, we got another trophy. Hank and Connor back in action?
Not really.
Hank and Connor still have yet to find Jericho, so they take them off of the case. Hank's to find a new partner, and Connor's going to be sent back to CyberLife to be deactivated. But Connor has one more trick up his sleeve. By distracting the other police officers, we're able to get down to the evidence room and piece together a puzzle. We ended up tricking one of the androids that we previously found in our investigation into giving us the location of Jericho. Now Connor's ready for blood. So we finally made it to the crossroads.
Yo, Shots, this is one of my favorite missions.
Mine as well. Kara and Alice finally make it to Jericho. And Connor, well, he's on the same path that Marcus took in finding Jericho. So once Kara and Alice settled down in Jericho, Kara went to speak with Marcus, and Marcus assured her of their safety. While Kara was headed back to Alice, she sees another android that looks exactly like her. This is the moment that she realized that Alice is actually an android.
No way! Look who's here!
Now after Marcus discusses the plan with his androids, Connor shows up and then this happens.
I've been ordered to take you alive. But I won't hesitate to shoot if you give me no choice.
Now by Connor knowing the location of Jericho, so does the Detroit police force. So they raided the ship and sent all of the androids into a cluster frenzy. During all of this chaos, Marcus was able to save a few of his fellow androids.
Go now!
And Kara and Alice had a close call, but they barely escaped, thankfully. Now Marcus's plan is to go ahead and blow up the ship while the Detroit police force is infiltrating it. But Connor and Marcus meet again.
My mission is to neutralize you, and I always accomplish my mission.
I didn't want this.
We'll meet again, Marcus.
After Marcus executes my boy Connor, he regroups with his androids and they get to safety. We get trophies for bringing 3 characters to the crossroads, for Connor staying an android, and for detonating the bomb at Jericho. Now after all of that chaos, Marcus speaks with his people and he decides to go ahead and demonstrate peacefully rather than revolutionizing violently. So after Kara and Alice escape Jericho, they're left with one option, and that's to get to Canada, but we'd have to get to the bus station. Unfortunately, there are cops at every checkpoint and they're searching for androids.
No! No! Please!
So we stayed quiet, snuck past, and we got to safety. Switching gears now, Marcus and his people get to downtown Detroit and they protest peacefully, but a brand new Connor shows up. However, Hank shows up to persuade Connor to side with the androids, but it's just an impossibility, so this happens.
Killing you is not part of my mission. But you won't stop me from accomplishing it.
Damn.
Now Kara and Alice finally make it to the bus station, but they run into Todd.
I'm getting mad again!
It seems as though Todd wants to notify the Detroit police that Kara and Alice are androids, but he has a change of heart and he lets them be. Now by solving a puzzle at the bus station, we were able to find some tickets and we're off and on our way. Once we got to the Canadian border, we had one final checkpoint until we were free. Now unfortunately, the decisions that I made in this playthrough, I had no opportunities to save Kara. So through a heartfelt scene, we said our goodbyes to Alice and we gave her to a trustee who would take her across the border.
Not gonna lie, Shots, that one hurt me.
Yeah, man, it hurt me too. But now we're back to Marcus, and this is the final showdown. The Detroit police force decided to push against the bombardment, and Marcus did everything he could to protect his androids peacefully. Unfortunately, they were backed into a corner, and the only thing that they could do now is sing, to show the humans that they had spirit and soul. Fortunately, our public opinion was high, and the president decided to spare all of the androids. Now, by completing this mission, we got trophies for Marcus succeeding in making the soldier stand back, Connor resisting hacking attempts from the Cyberlife, not losing any fights before reaching the end, and finishing the game once.
Yo, Shots, that story was incredible.
Yes, indeed, but there's still plenty of ways that the story could have played out. Let's check them out. Now, if you remember closely, when Marcus broke free, he pushed Leo down and ended up killing him. But this time we're gonna endure the pain, and this is what happened.
The android. It was the android.
We also got a trophy for finding shelter in a house rather than an abandoned car.
Come on, Karen.
Now, on my first playthrough, I completely missed this. When you're going to find Hank, you can actually analyze his desk and learn a lot more about your partner.
That's too much information.
So you remember that guy that jumped on us from the attic? Yeah, we're gonna catch him this time.
Yo, Shots, remember that android you killed at the Eden Club?
I do, and this time we're gonna let him go free. So for this next trophy, Marcus needs to infiltrate the Stratford Tower and broadcast his message without raising an alarm or having a team casualty. So once you get to the top floor, make sure you select ruse instead of assault, and Marcus can broadcast his message. Now on the flip side of things, we actually need Simon to be the team casualty. That way Connor can find him and get a glimpse of Jericho.
Playthrough, Shots chose to have a peaceful riot.
Well, today I'm feeling violent. So in chronological order, this mission actually came after Zlako.
Yeah, the weird android maker guy.
So we actually find refuge with our trustee, Rose. She allows us to stay there until we can get to Canada. But when she leaves, the police arrive, and this is what happened.
Absolutely nothing.
Now this time around meeting Kamsky, we refuse to kill Chloe.
I think Connor's going deviant.
So like I said earlier, today I woke up feeling violent. Last time the police shot us, but this time we're gonna attack the police. So this happened.
Follow me!
So this is where the grind started getting ugly. For the Just the Machine trophy, we need to have Hank kill Connor. In order for that to occur, we need to have Hank and Connor with a hostile relationship by this point in the story. So I decided to go chapter for chapter, but the only way it'll work is by starting from the first chapter and playing it all the way through till this point in the story. 15 hours later, so for the Escape Death Trophy, Kara and Alice need to escape the recycling center, but you would need to be caught by the police while leaving Jericho. So after a long, intense, anxiety-building mission, Marcus comes and saves the day. So we also get the Liberation Trophy. So this is where the Platinum Grind got even uglier.
Oh yeah, the I'll Be Back Trophy.
I used what I learned from the Just the Machine trophy, but it didn't work. I played all the way from the first chapter to the last chapter where Connor dies, and I still didn't get the trophy to pop. So what I ended up doing was deleting my save file, restarting a whole brand new playthrough, and finally, when arriving to the last mission where Connor dies, I ended up getting the trophy to pop. So now we're back as Kara and Alice, and we're trying to get to the bus station. But this time around, we end up seeing Luther and Jerry, so we decide to save them.
Kara!
Luckily, we were able to get past the cops and we got to the bus station. Now on the flip side of things, Marcus is ready to go ahead and infiltrate downtown. And once again, a brand new Connor's in effect.
There he is!
Now this time, instead of Hank coming to persuade Connor, the Detroit police force ends up coming and tries to stop him, but Connor slaughters them. Now we're back as Marcus, and he's leading his android troops into the Detroit police force's stronghold. And they were doing it very successfully until Connor shows up again. And this time, Connor comes out on top. And he also popped North.
Oh no!
Lastly, Kara, Alice, and Luther make it to the Canadian border. But this time, instead of using our trusty Rose, we also see Jerry, and we use him as our distraction. And for Jerry's sacrifice, Kara, Alice, and Luther get across the border. Whew. Now for completing this mission, we get a trophy for Connor killing the leader of the Deviants, for Kara, Alice passing the border, and for Kara, Alice, and Luther being together at the end. Now after all of these hectic playthroughs, I had to take a break. We ended up spending 20,000 bonus points and got another trophy. Now the sixth and final playthrough. We're gonna start at Crossroads where Connor meets Marcus, but Connor has an epiphany. Now that Connor's deviant, he speaks with Marcus and tells him that he's gonna infiltrate the CyberLife headquarters and convert thousands of androids for their cause. And that's exactly what we did until a brand new Connor shows up and this happens.
Hold it!
Thanks, Hank. I don't know how I would have managed without you. Get rid of him. We have no time to lose. It's me, Hank. I'm the real Connor.
One of you is my partner. The other is a sack of shit. I've learned a lot since I met you, Connor.
So now we have Kara, Alice, and Luther crossing the Canadian border. We also have Simon, Josh, North, Connor, and Marcus. Don't forget about Hank, all surviving at the end. And that's a wrap, folks.
Here's the biggest glitch of the game.
Yeah, the game shorted us on multiple trophies, but we got the platinum, baby. Now, this game was a nightmare when it came down to the multiple playthroughs, so I'd highly recommend you guys take a look at the guide so you can understand how the game actually works. So for the rating for this game, I'm gonna go with the 8.0. Oh, for sure. This game is a must play. I recommend you guys play it, but make sure you take your time when it comes to the platinum grind. I appreciate you guys taking your time to take a look at this game. Go ahead and like, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.
See you guys in the next one, and remember, become human.